Hello everyone. I always love to give garden tours. It's my favorite thing, and I like to go on garden tours. I've been missing my mom, and she's been my gardening inspiration my whole life, and so I'm gonna give a gardening tour as if I'm updating my mom, and anybody who's interested in long gardening tours can join along. Anyway, this is my front garden behind me, and I'm going to, here we go, start right here. This is a very shaded area in my little rock garden. This little sedum, I believe it is, has just taken over. I got that from Mom, actually. Normally I don't like begonias, but this year I'm planting a whole pot of them because they love the shade, and this is mostly a shaded area. And of course, we have chives here. They've been in this planter for years and just come back every year. And my son got me some fuchsias for Mother's Day, so I planted them in this pot with some begonias. And that's my lovely neighbor's rhododendron. Okay, so this isn't in bloom anymore, but this is one of those dwarf rhododendrons. Tiny little bit of bloom over there. This is a dahlia that I rescued from Walmart's I'm going to die soon rack, and so I'm 50% off. And I love this flower. My Aunt Arlene knows what it is because she has some in her yard, but I keep forgetting the name, so she will tell me hopefully in the comments. Of course, Bleeding Heart has already bloomed. Delphinium, one of my most favorites. This is a new addition this year. I used to have a giant mother of a delphinium, but it died, unfortunately, and I've been wanting one ever since, so I treated myself to one. This is a lime thyme. This came back from last year. Just love it. It smells so good. Too bad you guys can't smell it. But if you know what limes smell like, with a little sweeter, actually. We have anemones, which grow like crazy over here in Central Oregon. I forgot to cut off these little seed pods. You're supposed to do that with the tulips so that it helps the bulb develop, and I didn't get to that this year. And so yeah, what happens is I have some perennials in here, and then I have cosmos, which takes over every year after the bulbs kind of die down. You can see the little baby cosmos in here, and so everything else will die down and the cosmos will take over. So it's like a big sea of cosmos in the summer. And we have some asters, which is nice fall bloom, some mums, which is a fall bloom. And these are bellflowers, and they're budding. They're gonna be here in a couple of weeks, which will be lovely. Daisies right here, which are not in bloom yet. A whole bunch more daisies over here. And tulips, which are done. This is a beautiful purple rock cress, which is just a purple carpet in the early spring. It's so awesome before hardly any other color comes. And of course, bachelor's buttons, which will reseed themselves forever and ever, amen. And I made up a bunch of little annual pots this year. Snapdragons, alyssum. These are some little lilies that are trying to come up in here. These are gonna be black-eyed Susans. Of course, some more annuals and a begonia. This front garden, I don't know, this is a tall begonia, and it got nipped by the frost because I planted things too early this year, but it's coming back nicely. Salvia, which grows wonderfully here in Central Oregon. Some more daisies, another lovely pot of annuals, and of course my irises, which I dug up from my Uncle Mac's front yard long time ago. You will see them throughout the front and back garden. And these are little Arctic geraniums, which grow really well here in Central Oregon, and some grass. And of course marigolds, and I have some snapdragons in there. Okay, and I'm going to quickly take you around back. Love the garbage cans. Going back through the behind the scenes area. I'm going to turn these into flower boxes and put them all along our back fencing, which I will show you in a second. Is everything the way I want it to be right now? No. Is it ever? No. But I'm working on it. So do you see right along, my shadow, right along in here, along the fence, I think I'm going to put a whole bunch of those flower boxes all along the fence. And who knows, that would be really fun. I'm trying to decide if I should paint them or just let them age, because I like that. Of course, more bachelor buttons. And the back patio area, this is the area for the dogs, so we fence it in, and we're building a new fence back there, so it's kind of unsightly back there. But of course, more bachelor buttons in the half barrel, which I got from Mom. And these are sunflowers that reseed themselves every year. I love them here because that's our bedroom window right there. And in the fall, the little birds come and eat the seeds, and you can sit by the window and watch the birds eat the seeds. Of course, you get the beautiful blooms in the summer. I struggle to keep this area watered. It doesn't get watered. I have to do it manually, and I have a spearmint growing in here. That's really much the only thing that survived the winter. And I just today planted a whole bunch of like wildflower seeds in there, so we shall see. And there's another planter I got from Mom. Basically, when Mom passed, I just went and took everything to keep it growing because I knew she would love that. And this is my strawberry patch. I've been struggling with strawberries, and a couple nights ago a cat decided to use this area as a litter box. Gross. So I cleaned it all out with gloves, and we mulched it. This year is a new thing that we're doing. We mulch everything, so you'll see that. I bought these new this year, lemon balm, another thing I love. Put a strawberry up here, another purple salvia. These are tiger lilies from my Auntie June. Have them growing in here, and they love it here. In the coast, they get huge and tall, but they don't get that tall here. This is a chocolate mint from my neighbor. And you see the little wild rosemary shoots that want to take over the world from this mother plant here. And I've cut that down, I don't know how many times. It just won't die. I don't want to kill it. I like it there. I think this is kind of a cute area. I made this as a little sort of remembrance garden for Mom. And I do love it there, but it's just, it takes a lot of work to maintain, and the shoots come up everywhere. So if you want to plant a wild rose bush, do it where you don't care if it takes over. It was one of the first things I planted so long ago, I can't even remember, before we even put in the landscaping. So, okay, we have lupins in here, lilies. You can see the silly rose that wants to come up in here. These are lilies, and I am blanking phlox. So that's a white phlox in there. And these are too crowded, but what are you gonna do? Sedum, this was from Mom too. Lilies that live in this pot year after year. Raspberries that I did not prune this year. And you can see, I mean, they're super tall. I really have to get in there, but I have to be so careful now because the buds are starting to form. I saw some over on the other side. So, I can get in here and get some of this dead wood, I think, without disturbing too much. That is on tomorrow's to-do list. And of course, see, it just comes, the rose bush wants to go everywhere in my garden. Okay, so this is my main vegetable garden, and I've done some reworking this year. Actually, I rework it every year. But what I'm loving is this mulch everywhere. It just makes it look so clean. And, you know, weeding makes garden not fun. So I decided to do everything I can to keep the weeds down. So Dad and I built this cucumber trellis. I was silly and I planted cucumber starts way too early, and they all died. That one is, I'm gonna have to pull it. And this one, it has these leaves which are still surviving. So, but actually I planted the cucumber seeds along with the little seedlings. So I think, I don't know if they're gonna come up or not. It was just too early. So I think tomorrow, I'm also gonna replant cucumber seedlings. And then underneath the trellis, I'm gonna put lettuces. So that's also right in here. Because in theory, so lettuce likes to be cooler. And so I'm hoping that as the cucumbers grow, it'll help shade the lettuce and give it dappled light, and we shall see. This is just a little wildflower area. One of Mom's lupins, which actually came from a seed from Aunt Darlene, and it was a giant mother one, and I just split it and put it lots of different places. These are calendula and alyssum that are coming up from last year. They reseeded themselves. We have some more sedum. And what is this? Oh, this is a raspberry shoot, you guys. You're kidding me. Oh, no. Yeah, no. No, no, no. This is a weed. No, is it raspberry? I don't know. I can't tell. I think it's just a weed. Anyway, I just shoved weeds over there. You can see weeds from a long time ago. I just put over there. Tomato. This is tomato number 2 in this little area here because tomato number 1 died in the frost, even though I covered it. Just was too much. This is aroma. This is where the other one was. Had to pull it too. I actually have little tiny cherry tomato starts that I started from seed that really did well last year, so I'm gonna let it grow another 3 or 4 weeks and then get it out here. Maybe. I might be too impatient. Of course, marigolds are good out here with tomatoes, and there's little zinnias in there too, which are great for bringing those beneficial insects. And this is my sugar snap peas, and I have several little ones starting in here. And it's probably, usually I start my sugar snap peas in April. It was so late this year because I was doing a bunch of crafting. This is where I'm going to keep all of my carrots. I planted them today. Why is the netting over it? Not because of birds. Cats, silly cats, using it as a litter box. I'm not going to have them go in there after I planted my carrot seeds. So I spent time constructing this little netted area. So hopefully that will work. And once, I mean, I really packed in the carrots. I'm going to have to thin them out quite a lot. But once they get really, I don't know, 3 inches or 4 inches high, I'll take the netting off. It's going to be hard to weed. In fact, I may just let the weeds grow in there until I take off the netting. This is going to be bush beans in here. Haven't planted them yet. We have a regular English thyme. This is doing really lovely this year. Lavender, English lavender, little hens and chickens. From Mom. I got a couple from Mom, and then I just put them all over the rocky area, and they have really taken off. I mean, you can see them here all around, back behind the peas. And this is creeping phlox or flax. I always forget. Anyway, it was beautiful in the early spring, and now it's all budded out. Every year I have to really cut this back. Another lavender, more hens and chickens. This was a muscari or a grape hyacinth patch, and it was beautiful in the spring as well, but of course they've all done their thing. Okay, so I planted out 3 kale seedlings, and only 1 is still here. The other one's completely disappeared. How did that happen? Birds. Birds come and take them. Really tans my hide. Onions. Planted out a bunch of onion seedlings and that I started, and some did not get water, and so they just wilted away. So I'm just gonna put seeds in here as an experiment. But I love onions. Last year I had so many. Zucchini, which has actually survived the really cold nights that we've had. The super cold ones, I covered them. And peppers too. The peppers have been getting eaten by birds. Like, hello, where is it? This little thing, poor thing. And I don't know if it was nipped by the frost. I can't really tell. It's all blurry, sorry. Anyway, that little one and that little one I grew. Those are jalapenos. This is a bell pepper from the store, from Home Depot. We'll see. We will see. These are more sugar snap peas, and they'll grow up this giant trellis thingy that I made from, I don't know, some scrap metal that Dad had. Of course, irises back here, and these are, oh my goodness, why did I lose it? They look like a salvia, but they're not. They're a fuzzier kind. It's going to come to me. More flax, creeping flax, or phlox down there. I think it's phlox. What else? More iris. These are wildflowers. We've got a bunch of calendula and some other wildflowers here. I just let them. They reseeded from last year. Of course, a purple lily. Ian got that for me for Mother's Day. And this is it's an orange flower. It's called an iron cross. It grows pretty tall, and it has interesting orange flowers. Funny story, I had that, didn't really like it, I mean years ago, like when my kids were tiny. And then gave it to Mom. She kept it alive, and so when she died, I just brought it back. And I actually like it back here. And it does fine with the amount of water that it gets. More chives. And, oh yeah, the honeybees love the chives. Can you see them? Just love it. Go, little bee, go. Lemon balm again. Got 2 of them and planted them. Another, the other part of that lupin. And in here, I just planted fairy tale pumpkins. Last year, I grew pumpkins from here. And yes, they did kind of want to take over all over this area, but I just moved the vine so that I could keep a walkway, and it turned out fine. So I'm going to try it again this year. Usually I grow sugar pumpkins, but I still have a little bit in the freezer, so I just thought I would try the fairy tale kind. Aster, got from my neighbor, and boy, do they do well here. Apple tree. I did get several apple blossoms this year, not many as last year, and hoping, I don't know, I never know. Okay, so I read this in a book that if you put garlic in and around the ground of your fruit trees, that it will help with the bugs, you know, that get the worms in the apples. So that's on my list for tomorrow. I just read that last weekend. Because yeah, last year I got so many apples, it was wonderful. But yeah, little wormies inside. I eat them anyway, I just cut them out. But a lot of people don't like that. So this is a little tea rose. This is not the best location for this rose. From my friend Whitney for, I don't know, 15 years ago, she gave this to me. 15, well, probably, yeah, it could be, no, more like 13, doesn't matter. Anyway, it was in the front, kept getting hit by the sprinklers, brought it back here. This is its 3rd year here, and it's not doing great. These are honeyberry bushes. This is it's hard to tell, but the one's shorter and then one's bigger. The shorter one is the female and the taller one is the male. And they both, see, I was just looking, have these berries on them, right? Okay, I saw okay, here's one. See, aren't they a pretty color? And they are edible. They're like tart. I'm eating one right now. Yeah, they're tart, but they're tasty. There's another one over here. Lots of them. Actually, this is the most I've ever had. Yum. Pardon me. This is my little composting area, so it's tiny, and I really need a lot more. I put some irises back here because I had so many I didn't know what to do with them. Look, they're even blooming, even though they're back here behind this thing. So I put my grass clippings and whatever in this side, and then next year I will move whatever's there that is all chunky and put it over on that side. And then the stuff at the bottom will be that rich kind of compost that you use in the garden. That's what I did this year, and I've used it. I never have enough for a full gardening season, but you know, I don't have a huge space. I want to get one of those big tumbler ones that you can crank. I think that would be lovely. Let's see. Oh, this is a rose bush that my friend, ouch! Don't do that, people. That's really stupid. Ow, that really hurt. Anyway, I have not pruned it this year, so it's going to get giant. And I struggle with Japanese beetles on this, so I'm going to do the garlic thing as well. And that might help. But usually what happens is I just end up pruning or cutting off everything that gets affected by the Japanese beetles. What they do is they go inside the blooms and they lay their eggs. The larvae eat the blooms and they get all ugly, and I can't tell, are there little holes in there now? They're kind of sticky. What does that mean? Huh. Interesting. I'm not good with roses, but this rose bush produces copious amounts of beautifully pink roses every year, even though sometimes it gets bugs. And by the second part of the season, like August, I cut off the ones that are affected, and then new stuff comes and it's fine. But anyway, so that is pretty much it. Inside our back area, so we have 2 dogs, and we need a place for them to come do their business. And this is a nice little patio area, and obviously I have to keep the dogs separated from my garden, otherwise I would go crazy. Yeah, I really treated myself. I spent more money this year on annuals than I ever have, and it's fun. These are wildflower seeds that I just planted today, and so we shall see. Same down here. Zucchini. I bought way too many zucchini this year, and my neighbor gave me some, so I have to put some in containers. Last year I did that, and the container ones I only got a few zucchini, which so I don't know. I just didn't know what else to do with them, and so I did that. These are going to be little wildflower snapdragon seeds that I planted, and this is another annuals. These are actually zinnia that I planted from seed inside a while ago. One of Mom's elephants. Hello. And here are some seedlings that I keep inside at nighttime, and I'm trying to harden these guys off. But we've got assortment. This is a petunia, zinnia. I've got romaine lettuce, and then over here I've got peppers and basil. So we'll see. And where am I going to put those? I don't know. Figure that out. That is future Tara's problem. Over here is a cold frame, but as you can see, there's no glass. Broken glass. Oh, right here. Okay, I gotta go put that in the trash. Because our last snowstorm was so wet and heavy, it just completely broke the glass. So before fall, I'm gonna replace the glass, because it was fun growing things in the cold frame over the winter. Anyway, these are 2 zucchini, and I think they'll do really well here, except I have to water them manually. And last year I grew patty pan squash in here during the summer, and my gosh, it did great here. So I'm assuming the zucchini are going to do the same. I'm going to have so much zucchini if these guys produce. Bachelor buttons, and then I also put some wildflower seeds and some nasturtium seeds in here. Anyway, so that is it. And boy, if you've made it this far, you really love flowers as much as I do. Anyway, thanks so much for coming along with me on my little garden tour. Okay, bye-bye.